when we were doing our course, he would say that Bhagavatam should not be just for the 2-year study. We should be a lifelong companion. So this has been his point even a decade ago in speaking that. So because he gave that, that's the reason I prepared also based on that.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
When I asked him for elaboration, this elaboration he gave. The importance of continuing the habit of regular study even after passing out and how Bhagavatam is our companion throughout our spiritual life.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So let us welcome His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu to Bhaktivedanta Vidyapit with a very great enthusiasm by loudly chanting Hari Bol. Radheshyam Prabhu needs no introduction, and I'm not here to give any introduction of Radheshyam Prabhu. I'm here only to heartily welcome Prabhu once again back to Govardhan College and Bhaktivedanta Vidyapit. This has been his home. Actually, Vidyapit has been a very low profile, simple training setup meant for those who joined ISKCON Chowpatty Brahmacharya Ashram in 2012. 20 devotees joined, so they came for training. 2013, 13 more devotees joined. They also came. 2 years, 2 batches were running. 2014, when Prabhu joined, then Vidyapit got some kind of credibility, I would say. So Bhaktivedanta Vidyapit is known all over the world now. So the reason for that is, I could say, Radheshyam Prabhu. 2014.
The reason for that is Subodhini guide. Actually, when I saw his notes at that time, I said, my Lord, this is like a treasure. How you can not print it? So he said, Prabhuji, I had no plans to print it. He was selling at that time. When it was there, he was a very good overview maker of the whole chapter, giving a bird's eye view. Now the colorful Subodhini guides are everywhere in the world now.
You can see colorful charts in your hands. In comparison to that, Subodhin is nothing. It's a child's play. But 2014 to 16, Radheshyam Prabhu was personally here. Although he's such a senior, like fatherly figure for many of us, still he's very humble to sit in the classes, 2-3 hours classes. Every week he would come here. Monday to Friday, he's a part of Vidyapit as a student. Saturday and Sunday, he will go to Pune and do a lot of services, and then daily 7 hours, 8 hours of classes there, Saturday, Sunday. Again, Monday he's back, morning. Early morning, he would travel from Pune all the way to GEV, 4-5 hours journey. So he did that for 2 years. So it's such a wonderful example, a very humbling example. We can never, at least I can never imagine to do such intense sadhana and demonstrate such a great example of sadachar at that age. And Prabhu is such an exemplary personality. Since my beginning days of bhakti, I have been hearing Prabhu in ISC. I would just download from ISKCON Desire Tree some classes and I would hear. And somehow I'm fortunate enough to have his association, deeper association, when he came to Vidyapit. And it did not stop there. 2016, he began Vidyapit batches in Kanpur, Kolkata, Pune. And he called me there.
And me and Gauranga Darshan Prabhu shared 50-50% classes.
Yeah. So monthly 4 days of classes in all these places. So that's how he expanded Vidyapit. He found a different model. So we have every day, weekly 5-day classes. Prabhuji started monthly 4-day classes there. Very intense. So, and that is only about his studies, Svadhyaya part. But his missionary spirit part, as a Prabhupada man, he has brought thousands and thousands of people to Krishna consciousness, especially young devotees. So it's unimaginable how much Krishna Shakti this devotee has. So the whole world knows. Also, when I go to Hyderabad and Pune and many other places, wherever I go to, these voices that Prabhuji has organized at different places in the city, each voice center is no less than a brahmachari ashram. And the worship standards and sadhana standards of each voice is as good as a temple. In fact, better than some temples also. So they have morning 4:30 a.m. Sikshashtakam prayers. Then 4:45 to 5:45, they will chant. And before chanting, there is some 5-10 minutes of japa talk. Then 7:45, they do some Mangalarati, Guru Puja combined. And then they will go to offices or colleges. So this is there everywhere. And whenever I go to one voice, devotees from all voices come to have that online class, morning 7:30 to 8 o'clock, 8:15 like that. So it's like 300 youth joining on a weekday in a Zoom class also, and on site there are some 30-40 candidates sitting there. So this kind of strict and sincere sadhana standards Prabhuji installed at multiple places in India, and not only he's training devotees, he's not only undergoing training even in at advanced age also, he's training devotees and he's sending his trained devotees to different places. So Radheshyam Prabhu's trained devotees are there in multiple corners of India. You go to Kanpur, Kolkata, Hyderabad, many places he's there. So those devotees are sincerely following the standards that Prabhuji has set while doing services in the local temples. So it's like he's a powerhouse of inspiration and greatest example of sadhana. And he has such nice, approachable demeanor. When you sit with him, he speaks as if you are his friend. He doesn't identify himself with all his accomplishments. He's so friendly, so loving, so affectionate in his dealings. So I'm very, very grateful to be a recipient of Prabhu's affection for almost 1.5 decade. Very grateful for this relationship that Krishna has organized in my life. And we are grateful now to invite Radheshyam Prabhu into our Vidyapit batch after little gap. I think after COVID, Prabhuji did not come yet here. So thank you so much, Prabhu, for coming here.
Thank you.
And evening, Prabhuji is giving Brahmachari class at 7:15 to 8:30. Tomorrow we have a Brahmachari festival. Now, like regular format is a didactic class. This is another format. This is a workshop where you will give some 5 minutes class and Prabhuji will give elaborate 15-20 minutes on that. And tomorrow we'll have a podcast. So we'll ask some questions and Prabhuji will share from his 3 decades of experiences. Don't miss this nectar. So just stay tuned. Hare Krishna. We welcome you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Namaste Hare Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Srila Gurudev Gurudev Jai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hare Pavan Hari Nama Sankirtan ki Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Bihar Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki Srila Prabhupada ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuhu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So the goal of this workshop is like what Sanatana Goswami said, Bhagavatam is my bandhu. What is the famous verse he said? Mateka bandhu, matsangin. So if you can feel that need for Bhagavatam in our life and dependence on Bhagavatam, and if Bhagavatam can become our pran, our life and soul, like a fish cannot live without water. Like that, that's the example Baladeva Devotion gives for that verse, Machitta Madgata Prana, Vadinta Parasparam. There he says, there is Annagata Jeev. Similarly, there are jivas who cannot live without food. Similarly, fish cannot live without water. So we cannot live without the shelter of Bhagavatam. If we can get that realization at the end of this workshop, that it is very vital for my life, that would be the success of this exercise. So let us, so the first few pages I only give the headings, and then later pages we have elaboration of that. Let us take the group one, can come here please. Please come.
Hare Krishna, Gaurang Manohar Das.
Hare Krishna, I am Bilva Mangal Thakur Das from Bangalore.
Hare Krishna, I am Achincha Balaram Das.
And my name is Gauranath Raj Das, Portugal. So,
Who is a timekeeper, good timekeeper? We have given them 6 minutes or how many minutes? So fifth minute, one bell, and 6th minute, continuous bell. Okay, Prabhu? He is a compassionate timekeeper or what type of timekeeper? Compassionate timekeepers allow them for 20 minutes also. Huh? Take care. Okay. Where is the kartal? You have kartal, Prabhu? Ring the first bell and then they will start. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. So we took these 5 points in first page, and we'll just discuss a little bit on these 5 points. First was about material education, and we just elaborated a bit on how in material education we usually have a short time interest in the subject matter of study. So one is the short time interest, and the other is the discard. There's a discard of knowledge, there's a discard of connection with the teachers, and it has some time of impersonalism, where we disconnect from the knowledge, from the teachers. And the purpose of it is for a temporary benefit, for some sense gratification, more money, nice job, nice life. And some of that information becomes irrelevant with time. New theories comes, new technology. So this obviously presents a contrast to the study of Srimad Bhagavatam and transcendental literatures, which have everlasting benefit for the soul. So then we passed a bit to second point, which is growth and how growth continues for life. And because time is short, just one point we emphasized on growth was the trade-off. That in order for us to keep emphasizing Bhagavatam in life, we need to trade it for many, many things. And some of the examples is the relationships, social dealings, marriages, social events, a lot of devices, a lot of time on technology, looking for information, watching YouTube videos and social media content, a lot of concern for the bodybuilding, or just over endeavoring to, keep nice body for brahmacharis or nice house, and relationships for other ashrams. So to keep growing in Bhagavatam, there's a degree of trade-off that is required. And the third point was about how it stabilizes and deepens with time. And here we thought the example of corporates. Prabhuji also worked in corporate in Bangalore, so we're sharing about that. And would you like to say something on that? Okay. So corporate athletes who have who are aiming for highly successful goals, they work hard, they commit deeper, and they shoulder more. So this means that in spiritual life and in studying Bhagavatam, we need to keep working. We need to keep endeavoring. Like corporates, they're always studying their materials. Athletes are always upgrading their techniques. If they're not winning match, how can they strategize their team or their training if it's individual practice? And they are very committed. Some of the best athletes in the world, they go out in the gym and they work out every single day of the year. There's no day off, and they just keep working hard. So how committed they are. And they shoulder more. They take a lot of responsibilities. So one point that comes is that after Vidyapith, so many responsibilities will come in our life. So many services, so many things to do. Where's time for Bhagavatam? But study of Bhagavatam is a responsibility and a commitment that we need to take with ourselves and with the Supreme Lord in his literary form, in which we say, sorry, I cannot go to this appointment or to this service because I have a commitment that I need to sit with Prahlad Maharaj, with Dhruva Maharaj. I want to hear Bali Maharaj's arguments to Shukracharya. And to take that responsibility that we are engaged in service to the Bhagavats, and therefore there are certain things that we need to abdicate from. The fourth point is that Bhagavatam is the essence and is a guiding light. So Bhagavatam we got reading throughout all our life, devotional life, again and again, the same pastimes, the same chapters, the same stories, the same characters. But you see, it's not like going in a circle. It seems like we're looping, repeating the same thing and again and again. But spiritual life or Srimad Bhagavatam is more like a spiral. Because in a spiral, you go ever increasingly around and around, but you're going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper to the center or core of Bhagavatam, which is love for Krishna. So our emotions change, our dealings change, our values change. And we need to be consistent with it. That was a main point, also important point. I won't go deep into the consistency, but it is there. And just on the last point about Prabhupada gave a lot of time to translating Bhagavatam, and not just a lot of time, he also gave the best time. He spent the Brahma Muhurta hours, the early morning hours, which are very, very sattvic time to get in touch with Bhagavatam. So there's a quote from Prabhupada.
So the quote from Prabhupada, do you read? So if you don't read, then you will feel restless. Oh, let me go to Japan from India to Japan. You are restless because you don't read. I am laboring so hard for you, but you don't take advantage. Don't take advantage of eating and sleeping. Take advantage of these books.
I'll just take 30 seconds. In the point number 3, continued study is essential for growth, stability, and deep realization. So, one thing I'm speaking for myself. So many times when I read, beautiful pastimes, especially of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and when I sit to chant my japa, so it is like an impetus. So we can actually, instead of japa going on a monotonous tone, we can, get to deep realizations by just remembering those beautiful pastimes. And the other thing is, many times we may have questions in our mind, and when we do, deeply chant, we'll be able to, get the answers. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. I can support. I'll say a few words and then I'll ask them a question. It was a nice presentation, many nice things they said. All the vital points they touched. When we give a presentation, my humble request to all of you, you develop your presentation like a blossoming of a flower. So gradually start with a familiar point and go to unfamiliar points. And then one point should lead to the other point. Then people will not easily forget. They'll remember it even without even making notes also. For example, in this introduction, the first point that is made here is very simple. We go to school, we go to colleges, and then eventually we go for the profession. Even in material life, it is seen that we keep upgrading our knowledge and keeping abreast of the times. Like right now, if you are an IT engineer, if you are not keeping abreast of AI development, you are out. You will not be able to survive in the market nowadays. Many people are laid off nowadays. Is it not true? You have to upgrade. Now, how is this relevant to study of Bhagavatam? Study of Bhagavatam eventually should cleanse our heart and strengthen our devotion in the heart. It should enhance our understanding with our intelligence. And intelligence should have clarity of focus. So, when you strengthen your devotion in the heart by cleansing the heart, you get fulfillment. The heart is seeking fulfillment. And then your relationship with Krishna becomes established very strongly. Then you get inner fulfillment. And if I don't cleanse my heart, the result is just as an IT company, you get laid off. Similarly, in the path of devotional life, we may be somehow hanging around, but we may be finding it difficult to practice devotion service. It can become cumbersome. It can become like a mere ritual or something like that. That's the danger, actually. In the same manner, if intelligence is buddhi paryavatishthate in Gita, Krishna says, when does intelligence become focused on one point? And like he says, vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana. When we study the Shastra, initially we study for discrimination purpose. Viveka buddhi, what is right, what is wrong, and all those things. But ultimately, all right and wrong, they have to bring us to the point of understanding that Krishna's lotus feet is the ultimate goal. The intelligence becomes fixed. Like you see, a jnani's vision of the absolute truth is Param Jyoti. Whereas the vision of a yogi is Sarva Bhuta Guhavasam. And the vision of a bhakta is Bhagavantam Adokshajam. These three are given in the Bhagavatam only, this reward, isn't it? Param Jyoti is very hazy picture. Sarva Bhuta Guhavasam, you see Paramatma in the heart of everybody. More clarity. And Bhagavantam Adokshajam, complete understanding of the absolute truth. So, which means study of the Bhagavatam will bring us to the Bhagavantam Adokshajam. That means the Lord of six opulences and who is beyond the range of the mundane senses. We will come to that understanding. So, in this way, the intelligence gets clarity and focus. The heart gets cleansed and gets strength of devotion. By these two things, we both get the destination is clear in the intelligence, and we also the devotion of the heart is very satisfying. So now, while we are in the process, now I am telling you about the end result. We are talking about the end result, but the end result is going to come eventually. But what about those who are in the path of being a student of Bhagavad by distractions, internally by desires? When I am alone, even when I close my eyes, there are desires in my heart. We have many material desires lurking in our heart. How are you going to answer them? And when we open our eyes, there are a lot of distractions in the world around us. So to tackle these two things, external problem and internal problem, we are like a ant, between devil and deep sea. Imagine if there's an ant here in one log of wood, both sides there is fire. How it will be? It's like that. Outside world, distracts us. Our inside material desires also drag us down. But when we take shelter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Bhagavatam is not just a book like the material science. Bhagavatam is actually a spiritual science, and Bhagavatam is person Krishna himself. Prabhupada says the Bhagavatam and Krishna are identical. So, okay, how does that matter to us? That if Bhagavatam and Krishna are one, if you say, yes, because if I study Bhagavatam sincerely and Krishna is pleased with my attitude of studying, disciplined study, then he is going to cleanse my material desires. He is, this homework is very difficult to do. Which one? Cleansing of the material desires. We all have experience. We know we have certain desires which are inauspicious in our heart, that is troublesome to the heart. We know that we have to get rid of it, but we are unable to. We are helpless. Like he says, Anadi karma phale padiba varnava jale tarivarena deki upai. It's like we are drowning in the ocean of the samsara. And we don't know how to get out of it, get out of this material desire. So the super soul in the heart is standing and watching. Oh, this fellow is daily studying Bhagavatam, cleanse his heart. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu. So he will do the cleansing. So just like I remember in our Pune temple, one mother and a small kid came. So she sat way behind in the temple. We have a seat. And she let the boy, she gave some, 500 rupee note and said, better put it in the hundi and come back. So the boy very enthusiastically ran to the front. He was a toddler. When he went to the front, he realized the hundi was very tall and, silver hundi, you've seen that? Very tall. And he was just able to touch the hundi and come back. He told the mother, oh, I can't put, my hand can't reach. Then she came herself and carrying the child. Then she lifted the child, then he could put. So as soon as I saw, immediately I felt, this is what Radharani does for us. Isn't it? We make an effort and then she will make us qualified to render service. So we make an effort to study Bhagavatam, whether we like it or not, we study, and then the realization will be gifted to us. We study the Bhagavatam by cleansing of the heart. That will be done. So that's why we say Nashta Prayesha Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Seva. So the study of Bhagavatam is not only important for keeping abreast of the times, because we have to give so many lectures to so many people. What will people think if we don't, quote very lofty quotes from the Bhagavatam? That's not our concern. Actually, we are speaking Bhagavatam for the pleasure of the deities. Others also get pleasure, it is additional. So we are actually speaking so that Lord will get pleased, because it is His glorification. If you see in a Vishnu temple, Lord Vishnu is standing, and right opposite him, who is sitting? Garuda is sitting. So Garuda's one name is called the Bhagavad Guna Darpanam. Darpan means the mirror. So when Lord wants to know His own glories, He looks at Garuda, and then Garuda starts speaking. Garuda can describe the glories of the Lord so beautifully. So therefore, the Lord, when He hears about His glories, why does He feel happy? If the living entities can recognize His glory, that living entity's life becomes auspicious. Otherwise, the living entity will be drowning in the ocean of Maya. So when Lord sees, oh, this Jiva is taking interest in my Bhagavatam, so he is getting qualified to come back to me. He feels very happy. So he cleanses our heart, strengthens our devotion, gives us the focus in our intelligence, and we become one-pointed instead of being multi-branched. So when are we multi-branched? When our mind and senses flow outwards. Durashaya ye bahirartha maninaha. Bahir artha maninaha. Considering the external world of glitter and glamour to be very purposeful. Then when mind flows, then I become Bahushakahi Anantascha Buddhiyo Abhyavasayana. Whereas when I study Bhagavatam, mind withdraws itself. It becomes antarmukh. It withdraws from the outside. That doesn't mean we go to Himalayas or something. We live in the middle of the city, but our mind withdraws with the sense. Mind and senses go inward, and then they start focusing on Krishna's name, form, qualities, pastimes. It may be austerity in the beginning, but when one does it faithfully, sincerely, systematically, regularly, on a regular basis, Nityam, the word is Nityam is used. So in this way, then Krishna in our heart will give us the focus. Like as soon as you sit in a car, you need two things. You need the destination and you need the direction. So because the driver will ask you, where do you want to? If you say, that I haven't decided yet, you just start the car, let me think over. If you say like that, they will say, really, where will I drive it now? So we need to know the destination. And then after knowing the destination, then you need the GPS, which is to give the direction. Similarly, when we are studying Bhagavatam according to the Guru Parampara, which has given the purport and everything, we get the direction also, and the destination and direction become crystal clear. Nischala Tattvam. When it becomes clear for us, and that is actually the goal of the Bhagavatam study, that we practice spiritual life with clarity, with focus, with strength, with a strong devotion to Krishna. And we do it in a way that we try to please Guru and Krishna. So now, one question to this team. One point is given here that student graduates, when they graduate from education institution, immediately their job catches them, and then subsequently the wife comes and children come, and they get carried away by the multiple responsibilities which come. So can you equate this to a ISKCON devotee? That you all have to answer. This is talking about a karmi person studying in a school or a college. As soon as he graduates from the school or college, many things capture him. What are they? Like, the family life, the career, the promotion of the job, and multiple responsibilities. How is this example relevant to a ISKCON devotee? That is for a karmi, for a devotee, how it can be compared. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
Yes, I'll just give it a try. So the main thing in the karmi's life is the continuous entanglement and distraction. And
devotees are free from it, is it?
Uh,
Devotees in ISKCON have no problem?
No, I didn't say that. Since we have come from that background, most of us, we don't join when we are 5 years old or 4 years old. So that, what you call mentality is built in. It is there in our subconscious mind. So when we come here also, there are many distractions. Maya is present even within the temple, if one is not careful. So what happens is, the devotee gets distracted by things which are external. For example, somebody may think, oh, I want to become the temple president, or I want to be the biggest distributor, the book, and so that my name is recognized. So many things like that. And whereas the actual thing is to now become humble and to go inward, as you said, and to experience that spiritual joy, and to go very deep into our chant, so that both the external distractions are not there and the internal desires. I think that comes with maturity. And, so at a point in time, if you're so surrendered and if you are crying for Krishna, then Maya will stop disturbing us.
Beautiful, very nice. A nice example he gave. So he told about real life in ISKCON. Right now, you all are students here. When you graduate from studentship and go to your respective temples, responsibilities come. The first thing is they will give you services. And in the service area, you have to perform. ISKCON is also it's an organization, correct? No? So naturally, your performance appraisal is done. How you are performing, how your department is growing, what are you doing? So and also there are many ad hoc services. You know, ad hoc. Huh? Ad hoc means uninvited. Huh? Services also come like that. And with increasing years, our services reduce or they increase? Increases exponentially, practically. Huh? You know, they'll go on increasing. So at that time, the kind of study that you are able to do here may not be practical. You have 3 hours a day, you sit and study one chapter, and then later on you do self-study and things like that. So that's why I was thinking our Vidyapitam is like a camel, takes in water before going into the Registan, desert. Take as much as you can, you know. And once you go in the desert, then there you can, like a cow walk. So first she swallows the cud and then sits in one place. She keeps doing. She has 6 bellies, I heard. Cow takes out from first belly and then chews and puts back in second belly. Then takes out, chews, third belly. Like that she does. So, which means now many of you will have an experience. You swallowed many chapters of Bhagavatam and CC here. But then when you go back to your places, when the service starts, so we have to ruminate, we have to digest, we have to relish. But one most important thing is, uh, although the ISKCON responsibilities will drag us in different directions, there is one thing that will still keep you going studying Bhagavatam if you have developed a sense of responsibility and taste for reading the Bhagavatam. Say, for example, you're reading an Alfonso Mango. Somebody comes and batters the door. Huh? You're not very happy to open the door. You think, who is this fellow disturbing? Huh? You just keep it down, wash your mouth, and go and finish that off in 1 or 2 minutes and come back. Again, you take the mango again. Like that, you have to read Bhagavatam. Yeah. You're reading Bhagavatam, somebody comes, you just keep it down and go and meet and then come back. Again, you read it. Huh? So, if you develop a strong taste, this is one very important thing. If you have developed a strong taste, no amount of administration, management, and responsibilities in ISKCON can distract you from study of Bhagavatam. Huh? Because we all find out time for something in which we have taste and interest. Yes, Prabhu.
So one thing, most people listening of brahmacharis, the majority of devotees in ISKCON are not brahmacharis, and they have those same responsibilities.
Yeah, they have.
They just described.
Yeah, they have taken a wife, children, and then many family responsibilities also, and their job. That's very true. Yeah, they have to do that. Along with that, you may have a responsibility in temple also. Additionally, in that sense, one good thing is happening in ISKCON nowadays. The Shastric study has taken a big shape all across the globe now. Vidyapitam started, then IBMB started there in North, and VAHA, MAH have been around. But the people were not so active in Shastric study before. I can say between 2000 to 2010, very handful of students would go to VAHA, MAH and study. But after the Vidyapitam here started, Shastric study has taken a very, very serious shape, I feel. IBM started. Nowadays, after the COVID, it has become many-fold serious. And thousands of students are graduating from Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhava and everything. So, one of the goals of the Shastric study is not only to complete the syllabus, but to give you a taste. If this has given, just like you go to some shop, they give you a little puffed rice or some groundnuts to eat. I used to wonder how this fellow is giving free. Actually, he has a motive in giving free. Because when he gives you a little bit, after you taste, you will say, oh, you spoiled my mouth now, give me 2 kilos now. And I will ask him, immediately he will order. You have seen this? Similarly, here the Vidyapitam is actually to give you a taste. This has kept all your other services in temple in bay, and given you services away and taste the Bhagavatam. So that taste is being given to you. And once you utilize this time to awaken the taste well now, then when you go back to your respective places, that taste will keep you in contact with Bhagavatam. There's no doubt about that. That was a nice example he gave. Even while being in ISKCON temple, you may be allured by a post, or you may be eager to get name and fame, and we can become workaholic also, without reading Bhagavatam. Then we dry up, and when we are dried up, then we can't feel the juice of Krishna consciousness. So it is in our interest to feel the juice of Krishna consciousness and to have the strength of devotion, to have the clarity and focus in spiritual life. These are all intangible, very subtle qualities which any spiritualist requires. to go on and on for whole life and beyond. Otherwise, we are not after money or anything else. Other things are external factors. So let us thank this first group with one Haribo. Thank you. Second group is ready. Why regular study should continue even after formal education? They will tell us.